Yeah, I mean, us offensively, I mean, it starts with just complete total lack of run game tonight. 30 carries for 23 yards, probably the worst I've ever had in my career. So an area we've got to get a ton better. And just lack of explosive plays. I think that's an area we've done a really good job the past few weeks of being able to create some explosive plays and get the ball moving downfield, and we just weren't getting that done tonight. And again, I think that starts first and foremost with the run game, because when you're averaging less than a yard per carry right there, puts a lot of pressure on your quarterback. He feels like he's got to do a ton, and you look up and you threw the ball 58 times, and that's not what you want. You don't want to have to throw the ball that much. And so it starts with the run game, and then just penalties, self-inflicted wounds just killed us all night in all phases, in my opinion. And that's a place we've got to get a ton better.
Do you see those kind of penalties in more rivalry games, or when the kids know each other and a little bit more smack, or no?
No, I mean, I didn't feel like we had the one late hit over there on their sideline that was kind of that bobbled ball situation. But other than that, I mean, for us it was holding on offense, false starts on offense at critical moments, stuff like that we just got to clean up. We had a punt return for a touchdown that we get a penalty 40, 50 yards away from the ball. Guys completely out of the play, and we're trying to do a little too much. And so, again, that just comes back to us doing our job better and really talking about the details.
Questions?
Byron Brown was able to have success running the ball tonight.
Yep.
We saw that with Keywan Jenkins and Brendan Lewis in pass games as well. Is there anything specific you think that they're targeting with quarterback run game in the defense?
No, I mean, we knew they were going to do that coming in. I mean, he was their leading rusher by 40 carries coming in this game. So we weren't shocked that they were going to be able to run the football. I think that's part of their scheme. They widen you out, right? And they're going to see you're going to give me a light box, all right, then I'm going to run it. I may add the hat to the quarterback to get an extra hat, or if you're going to pack the box, I can still run the quarterback because I got an extra hat for him, or I'm going to throw it over your head. That's kind of their scheme, and we knew coming into it that was going to be the case. The biggest ones for us are the critical downs. I feel like we played pretty good first and second down, and then third down we struggled, in some critical areas there. So we got to get better there. Again, we knew they were going to run the quarterback. We're trying, was hoping we could hit him a little bit more and make him where he doesn't want to run it so much. But again, he's a heck of a football player, man. And that's an area we gotta get better, mainly just in the rush lane, stuff like that.
When it comes to your run game, you guys have had struggles. So this game, you've had struggles in previous games. What goes into some of maybe those issues you're having? Is it more of guys are missing assignments? Is it more of the running back isn't seeing the right lane and cutting it back? Is it the unit isn't prepared for maybe the tempo to really run said play? Like, kind of, I guess, explain from your perspective, without obviously watching the film from this game, why it might have been an issue again tonight.
Yeah, I think we had some missed assignments. I think that's about as simple as that, to be honest with you. Whenever you're getting a 4-1 box or a 5-man box of some sort, you got to be able to hat up a box. You got to be able to run the football. When people want to try to play cover 2 on us and 2 Tampa and all that stuff, or they're begging you to run the football, we've got to be able to be better. And again, give them a ton of credit. They did a really good job. They played physical. They were gaming us up in the inside some, and we got to keep working that with our guys, because clearly you're going to keep getting that, and that's an area where we've got to get better.
Defensively, you mentioned you guys were good in the early downs, but tying into the third down struggles, explosive plays were a bit of an issue again tonight. What is the biggest thing that going forward, because you're playing a team like Navy that capitalizes on explosives, a team like Tulane that can hit those explosives, even down the line, East Carolina can hit those explosives. With that stretch coming up, how important is it going to be to really lock in and be like, hey, we got the early downs covered, we need to tighten up on third downs?
Yeah, I mean, we that's a huge focus. That's all we do on Wednesdays. Wednesdays is critical situation day, and we've been doing a pretty good job, especially on the third and long stuff. That was what's frustrating tonight, third and long, been able to get a few, especially those first 2 drives. They continued the drives because they got a 3rd and 9 and a 3rd and 11 back-to-back, something like that. And so those are the ones we got to, the 3rd and 1s are tough. The 3rd and 4s are tough, but those 3rd and longs, we got to clean those up. And again, in practice, we've done a really good job. And again, some of that starts with rush lanes or the lack of pass rush. And he's able to pat the ball back there a little bit, and he found a few throws late at times. And again, the very first one, we have bad pass rush lanes. He takes off, and we know he can run, and we got to be better there. So just an area we got to keep working. And again, we have a full focus on that every Wednesday in practice, and we got to just keep continue to harp on it even more so.
Similar to the Memphis game, felt like you guys brought it closer in that third quarter. Really, we're starting to play saw it slip away. Like I said earlier, you guys had this big stretch in the American coming up with these very tough opponents. What is the biggest thing you're going to emphasize, whether it be a discipline thing, whether it be offense, defense, to really be like, hey, we're getting to this point, we now have to get over that hump?
Yeah, it comes down to just us, again, lack of execution. So we've got to execute our assignment. That's the biggest thing. And then, the self-inflicted wounds. Again, we had way too many penalties tonight in critical situations that really hurt you. Again, who knows what the game looks like when you gain some momentum. And, when you have that partner turn, gets called back, stuff like that, those are some huge momentum swings. And unfortunately for us, we had some big gains that got called back for holding, stuff like that we just we gotta get better there, And again, it's frustrating because we've been better in those areas, and then tonight we had just a lapse there, so we got to get better.